Hello and welcome back to Full Count, where we are ranking all of the teams leading into the 2026 season. This is the second episode, which means this is the second worst team in baseball. At number 29, we are talking about the Washington Nationals. Before I get into it, I just want to say this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. Use the code GUYSPORTS. I'll put it somewhere. It should be like right around there. Guy Sports, you get $20 off your first purchase. Hey, and if you've already used SeatGeek, create a new account. I know you got several emails. Create a new account. Use the code. $20 off. I mean, it's the best. So yeah, use SeatGeek, number one ticketing app, I believe. And yeah, but let's get into it. So the Washington Nationals are a team that I'm not excited about. To be completely honest with you, I was very low on them last season. A lot of people were like, well, they could sneaky win the NL East. No, they can't. They never could have. They don't have pitching, and they also don't have hitting. But we'll get into that. Everybody was big on the trio of James Wood, C.J. Abrams, and Dylan Cruz, which they should, like, exciting guys, but they haven't really done anything except for James Wood. But we'll get into that. So let's just start off with this lineup. James Wood is a 23-year-old. He's going to be leading off DH. We know the guy. He was an all-star last year. He had 31 homers, 825 OPS. He hits the ball as hard as anybody in the entire sport. He's bad in the field, though, which is why he's going to play DH this year. He's got a lot of value with that bat, but he does strike out just about as much as anybody in the entire league. I mean, he strikes out. So James Wood's a guy that I like. Definitely is the best player on the team, but or at least best hitter. But yeah, he's there's not much else to say about him. He kills the baseball. He hits it so hard, and I think he has a bright future. And I predicted that last year. I was like, he's the best player on his team. Whatever. C.J. Abrams is a guy that I've never been too high on. He is in the two-hole. He's playing shortstop, as always. He's a good player, but he's absolutely not a two-hitter. He's just not. He's a valuable shortstop in this league because hitting at shortstop is obviously valuable. But I'm waiting for the breakout for him. It may never come. I'm not sure. But he struggled last year in the field. Let's just say that. He grades out awfully at shortstop. He's fast. We know that. He did steal 31 bags in the last 2 years, I believe. Exact same number, 31. He technically had his best year at the plate last year, though. But the expected stats just hate him. That being said, he was an 111 OPS plus guy, and he had his career high OPS on base and career high of hits last year. So I don't think he's a two-hitter on any contending team. I don't think he's a bad player, but yeah, like I said, I don't think he's a two-hitter. So I'm sorry to say it, Nationals fans. It's just not the guy I'd want there. And then in the three-hole, we got a left fielder, Dalen Lyle. He's just 23 years old. Like, these first three guys are so young. Obviously, the next guy we're going to get to, Dylan Cruz, is very young. But Dalen, he's going to hit for a solid average, I think. The expected stats honestly love Dalen, and so do I. He doesn't whiff a whole lot. He doesn't strike out a whole lot either. There's not a whole lot of pop, so I'm confused. I mean, to me, just lineup creation-wise or configuration-wise, I would put Dalen probably as my leadoff hitter and James Wood in my three-hole. But yeah, there's not a lot of pop with Dalen. That's why I'm just kind of confused why he's in the three-hole. But Dalen has an all-star type of season in him. I really believe it. I do think this guy might be their all-star representative. It'd be easy to just sit here and say James Wood will probably be, just because he was last year, and we know he rakes. But Dalen, I think, is... If I was excited about anybody this year as a Nationals fan, you're obviously going to be excited about James Wood. You're going to be excited about Dylan Cruz, maybe. And you're going to be excited about C.J. Abrams. But Dalen Lyle would be my guy that, like, hey. And I think Nationals fans know this. They know Dalen Lyle can put together a good year. So I like that he's projected in the three-hole. I like that they think highly of him, but I'd probably put him in the one. In the four-hole, Dylan Cruz will be playing right field. He's just 24 years old. Like I mentioned, these guys are young. We're going to get to later. Brady House is 22 years old, so it's a young team. We all know what he did at LSU, though. He was the number 2 overall pick. Dylan Cruz is going to be a stud. but in his first 2 seasons, he's been pretty bad. That being said, he hasn't played many games at all. So in 2024, he only played 31 games, and then last year he played only 85. So he's very fast. He has solid range in the outfield. Like he's a guy like that. But he hasn't shown his best tool yet in this league. We know he's fast. We know he's got solid range. But the best tool is the bat. The best tool is hitting, and he hasn't shown it yet. He was in a big on base guy in college. He had like a crazy streak, but he's had just a 282 on base in the 116 major league games that he's played. So that's obviously not going to cut it, and I do think he'll figure it out, but just not hasn't been bright so far. Now, in the 5 hole, first baseman Luis Garcia Jr. I was really high on this guy last year, second base, whatever. I hyped him up a ton, and he did underperform. I'll stand by it. He was my breakout player. He did not break out. He was an awful defender and an average hitter. He is just 25 years old, so I think he still could have that breakout type of season. The on base just was brutal last year, 289. A lot of these guys just couldn't get on base, but the expected batting average was a lot better than the actual one, and that was what I predicted him to do. I said he was going to hit maybe 270. So I don't know. Maybe he could still do it. I don't hate Luis Garcia Jr. I still think he could be a decent player, but last year doesn't tell you anything good, so I don't love it. In the 6 hole, Keibert Ruiz, I really have nothing good to say about Keibert Ruiz. I hope he can turn it around, but there's nothing that says that he will. He's not a good hitter. He's I don't know. He's not a good hitter, and he doesn't bring any value with his glove either. Like he's a catcher. You're supposed to bring value in one of them, preferably the catching part, and he's not a good catcher. So there's not much to say. I'd say make Drew Millas, I believe the guy's name is Drew Millas. Make him the starter. That guy's a dog. Well, it's not a full dog, but he's way better than Keibert Ruiz. But that's just my opinion. Brady House, it will be in the 7 hole. 22 years old. He's my age. Brady is a good defender. But that being said, there's not much there with the bat. It was only his rookie year last year, so he might have a bright future. But yeah, Brady House, he's young. So I like Brady House. But do I expect much out of Brady House? No, I don't. Just moving on. It's a pretty boring lineup, I'm not going to lie. Second base, and in the 8 hole, Nasim Nunez played 73 games last year in his rookie season. He's a 25-year-old, got incredible speed, but definitely a below average bat. I don't expect much out of his bat, as you know, he's kind of never been a big hitter at any level of the minor leagues. It's never really been the bat. But like I said, incredible speed. Yeah, if he figures out that bat, he's a valuable player in this league. So I don't hate him being in the 8 hole for the Nationals. Would I want him in my starting lineup as a contender? Obviously not. And in the 9 hole, Jacob Young, he'll be playing center field. He's 26 years old now, and he's still he can't hit. That being said, his value in this league is with his glove. If he ever finds out how to hit, he'll have some crazy value, but until then, he's just an elite center fielder with the glove. He ranks 94th percentile in sprint speed and 98th in range. He flat out just goes out and gets that baseball. The one thing I have in terms of like positives for the bat is that he doesn't really whiff a lot. Which, if you don't whiff a lot and you're speedy as Jacob Young is, that's always fun to have, especially in your 9 hole. It's kind of I still think Jacob Young could be a decent MLB player. And he'll probably be around for a while just because of how good the glove is. Jacob Young wraps up that terrible lineup in the 9 hole. This Nationals team is not very fun. And speaking of not fun, is going to be the debut for Miles Mikolas, who they have slotted in the 1, which obviously I don't agree with. I think Cade Cavalli should be here. But we'll get to that. Miles Mikolas, what is this? I don't understand how he has a job in the MLB, nonetheless an ace. The last 3 years, he's been god-awful. The only positive thing I have to say about Miles Mikolas is that he doesn't walk anyone, which is really important to me. I really do like that in a pitcher. You don't want to give away free bases. But other than that, he's like genuinely just god-awful. The guy gets barreled up like I've never seen before. He doesn't strike anyone out. He doesn't get any swing and miss. He really just doesn't bring any value, especially not in as the ace. He's an innings eater, maybe. I don't know. The first game of the season, he'll be playing my Chicago Cubs. And I am guaranteeing you right now that he will give up 5 or more runs. Today, the date is February 15th. And I am telling you, opening day, Miles Mikolas will give up 5 or more runs to the Cubs. He is awful if he's pitching opening day. That's it. All right, moving on to the 2-hole. Cade Cavalli. He was not amazing last year in the, I believe, 10 starts that he had, but he wasn't bad either. You're doing more projecting with this guy. He's got an awesome heater. He gets a ton of chase, doesn't give up barrels, and he gets a ton of grounders. All things that you love in a pitcher, like nothing not to like there. The thing that you don't like with Cade is that he walks guys way too much. He's going to have to figure that out. Just obvious. Not counting his god-awful couple innings in 2022, we've only seen about 50 big league innings out of this guy. So I do think he could be an absolute dog and, dare I say, the best player on the team, which is not good. But Cade Cavalli, I'm rooting for you, man, and I'm rooting for the Nationals. It sounds like I'm hating on the Nationals. There's not a lot to like here, and if I was a Nationals fan, I'd be like a little upset. I'd be like, what is happening? We had Juan Soto. I just would not. You're in a bad spot right now, but let's just keep going. Brad Lord in the 3-hole. He was decent in his rookie season last year. He wasn't anything special though. I don't like him to have a good year this year either. Yeah, he gave the Nats 130 innings last year with a 4.34 ERA. Brad has an average heater, but I certainly wouldn't want him in my 3 spot in the rotation, or just in my rotation at all. Probably. That being said, he is somewhat young, so he can always figure it out, and I'm sure they'll be working on something with him. So don't hate Brad Lord, but I definitely don't love Brad Lord. Josiah Gray is in the 4-hole. Upside on this guy. In 2023, he was an all-star. He put together a solid year in 23. 3.91 ERA and 159 innings. And then at the beginning of 2024, Tommy John action showed up. So he's kind of a wild card to see what will happen here, but I wonder if he'll throw harder after surgery. Sometimes people do that after Tommy John, so I'm rooting for him for sure. I like Josiah Gray. I just can't say I expect much though after injury and everything. So Josiah, I am rooting for you. Obviously, I think he could do it, but I just can't put big expectations on him after an injury like that. So we'll see. In the 5-hole, Foster Griffin. Haven't seen him in the MLB since 2022. He's been balling out in Japan, though. I'm honestly shocked Jake Irvin, just speaking on this right now, Jake Irvin's not in these top 5. Maybe he'll be the 6th man, swingman type of guy. I don't know. But I'm surprised that he's not projected in the rotation, because Jake Irvin I thought would be a kind of a guarantee spot. But anyways, I'll talk more about Foster a little bit. I think he could surprise people. He was balling out in Japan, like 1 dot something ERA last year, I think was. So I don't know a whole lot about him, if I'm being completely honest, but I'm rooting for him. Always like a guy that goes overseas to rebuild himself, go find something. And he definitely found something in Japan. So we'll see if it translates over to the big leagues. But yeah, Foster Griffin, kind of an exciting, fun 5 spot. Pretty bad rotation though, just 1 through 5. Not good. And even if you do throw Jake Irvin in there, it's not that good. So anyways, let's look into the bullpen and almost wrap this up. So it looks like Clayton Beeter and Cole Henry are the favorites for the closer role this season. If I was the manager, I'd give it to Beeter, but Henry's a dog. I think that Cole Henry will be a solid setup man for Beeter. I think they'd be a good 1-2 punch in the 8-9. But just talking about Beater, who I would give it to, he throws gas. He'd be my guy to be excited about as a Nationals fan, to be completely honest. I also really like Julian Fernandez as well. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jake Irvin as well, because I would have expected him to be in the rotation, but he could be kind of a fun piece in this bullpen too. Like maybe he finds something there that I don't know, just kind of find something in the bullpen that gets him going. So I mean, we'll see what happens there, but I don't know. The Jake Irvin thing confused me because I thought he'd be a lock. I don't know why I'm still stuck on that, but anyways, let's just go into the over-unders. It's at 65.5, 66.5, depending on what book you are looking at. I think I have to go under. I think right around 60. I do think this team's really bad, and I think they're in second hardest division in baseball in the NL East. So I do think I think the Phillies are going to have a down season, but we'll get to that later. But I do think the NL East is still incredible. Marlins are getting better. And then obviously you got the Mets that are incredible. The Braves will be back. We know they will. So, yeah, really tough division and not a good team. I'm going to take the under on 66.5. That being said, hey, I'm rooting for you guys. Go Nats. I got a couple of buddies that are Nats fans, so rooting for you guys. But, yeah, I just don't see much. I don't see much here at all. And, yeah, I'm taking the under on 66.5. Like I said at the beginning of the video, check out the SeatGeek code. Use it for your MLB tickets once that season comes around. Or use it for NBA after this All-Star break. Whenever you want to use it, helps us out. So, yeah, I think that's everything I got. Go Nationals. I really hope you guys exceed my expectations because my expectations are very low, as I have them as the second worst team in the MLB, only above the Rockies. Stay tuned for who I have as the third worst team or the 28th ranked team going into next year. Hint, they are in the NL. It is not the White Sox. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching, and thanks for tuning in to Full Count. We will see you next time. Peace.